the year, and I'm gonna do a review of the year. I've got Ollie here because he's awesome.
Yep.
And here, it's not a register.
Yep.
It came out. That came out at the beginning of this year, didn't it?
Yeah.
The thing about the Coen Brothers is if you cut them down, if you total them down to a level, if you make them structured to a book, they're brilliant. It's when they're their own self that they're zany, they're too much. I didn't like The Big Lebowski. I loved No Country for Old Men, and I think True Grit is an interesting film in its own right. Have you seen it, Ollie?
Yeah. Did you think it dragged out too long though, or did you reckon they could have made it more succinct?
I think they paced it well enough, but I think that they needed the relationship. I mean, the thing is you've got three stellar performances in that. You've got Jeff Bridges being completely incoherent, going sounding like he's Batman.
Yeah.
You've got Matt Damon, who makes sense until halfway through when he bites through his own tongue, and then he's with him. And then you have Hayley Steinfeld, who is brilliant as that sort of archetype. She plays off against them. You've got the essential good in Hayley Steinfeld. She is the pure goodness. Then you have the cross between Matt Damon, and then you have who is bad but is essentially good in Jeff Bridges. So you have all three of a collection. It's like a generational thing. They needed the three, and they needed the bonding that happens throughout the film to make it work. Or otherwise, it would have just been like another Western. What were the best films this year, Ollie?
Best film? Well,
give me your top three.
Top three? That's hard.
If you want to have my...
give you top five.
If, quite frankly, if you have my top three, it's going to look really bad. It's going to look like all I've done is copy. Oh, we should talk about Tintin.
Tintin? No, don't do that.
No, but I should talk about Tintin. A lot of talk about Tintin. Didn't think it was that good personally. Didn't enjoy it as much as I should have. I thought that Tintin seems like a heartless bastard. But my question to everybody is, if you're listening to this, if Tintin is just a reporter, why does he have a gun?
Well, why does Sherlock claim for the gun?
Because he's an investigative, because he's a detective. But Tintin is employed as a reporter, right? So it's like Piers Morgan carrying a sniper. No one's going to do... Well, it's not going to happen, is it? Oh, hello, Piers Morgan. Is that a revolver? It is indeed. Get in the car.
In-Betweeners?
All right, we'll talk about The In-Betweeners. I think The In-Betweeners was surprise of the year. I think it was a film that I judged before I'd watched it, and I think that proves to me... I love films like The In-Betweeners because it shows me that I can't judge a film before I've watched it. Because the thing I like about The In-Betweeners, the movie, I dislike this about the series. The series is crude, crass, and horrible, right? I've never said it isn't clever. It has always been a clever series, but it's not as clever as it should be. In the film, they had to tone it down because it's for a bigger audience, firstly. And secondly, in the series, you can have 30 minutes, because you're on screen 30 minutes, you can have these characters be exactly the same every week. Nothing's going to change. In a 90-minute film, that just isn't going to work. So you have to have people transform on screen. Jay is a perfect example. You start off seeing Jay in what could be definitely defined as suspicious circumstances, with his ham and his glove and his snorkels. But...
Every Sunday night, see?
Every night, actually. But, not at church. What happens is, throughout the film, he learns and he changes. And, you know, there's this big girl that he likes, but he clearly likes her, and eventually he learns to be with her, even though she's big in public. And that's something that you actually learn. So it's a praisable film for that, because it has morality. And it is, in the series, they don't have to, you don't have to have morality. You can just have, oh, this is funny, look at this, it's poo. But in a film, any film, you have to have morality. You have to have an arc of morality. So like Neil, is it Neil?
The tall guy, yeah.
The tall guy, Neil. Neil he cheats on his girlfriend. What I like is the others never praise him for it. They're always like, you know you're cheating on your girlfriend, right?
But he doesn't cheat on his girlfriend because he split up with his girlfriend before he went on holiday.
No, he doesn't. If you listen, he says, she goes, is that true? And he goes, yeah, if you like. And then when they come back from the holiday, his girlfriend is there waiting for him. And he hides his new girlfriend from her. So he does cheat on his girlfriend, and the others are like, you're cheating on your girlfriend, this is wrong. And they condemn him for that. I like that. I mean, I do think it dips a little bit in the middle. When they have to fight, you know, when that inevitably happens, I think the stock in Malaga is going to go up through the roof. But then it is the holiday destination, but people will want to go just because the In-Betweeners are in there. That's a fine thing. It sold out. I mean, you know, it was the sleeper of the year, and it was so uncontainably brilliant, but...
Did you think it was a surprise of the year because you weren't a fan beforehand? Whereas me, I liked the series. I thought it was going to be massive anyway.
To be fair, it is a show that is it started off on E4 and got ridiculously high numbers. Then it went to Channel 4, got very good numbers, and it was in the cinema.
But it's got a cult following, so it was...
Yeah, but a cult following isn't... No, a cult following isn't sellouts. I mean, in Screen 1, that's the biggest screen that we had. Well, screen 12 is the biggest screen we had. Originally in the cinema we had it in screen 3, which is one of our smallest. We thought, oh, it'll be fine. We had to move it to screen 1. I think it surprised everybody how popular it was because it was selling out day in, day out, all the showings, up and down it was selling out. That is about, probably say 1,000 people every 3 showings watching it. That is a lot of people considering that's all day. It took £2.5 million in its first opening day. Unknown.
Now, I like this. You really had an axe to grind with this.
No, I had an axe to grind with Taken. I hated Taken.
Amazing film.
With a passion.
Amazing film.
It didn't come out this year, so we can't mention it really.
Unknown,
but
not as good, but still great.
Taken 2 is coming out, so is that just going to be taken aback or returned? I don't know. Taken 2.
Cash credit.
Yeah, hopefully cash back. I hope it's going to be called that, with Lee Mack starring. Yeah, I thought it was okay.
Still waiting for a film for Liam Neeson to smile in. We might
Not going to
get
happen.
lucky.
Not going to happen. You can watch Leap of Faith. He smiles in that.
Well, Love Actually still doesn't smile in that.
No, but Leap of Faith he smiles in. But he was a lot younger then. A lot younger. Warrior. Did you like
that? I didn't see that film, but I should have really, because I really like Tom Hardy.
Warrior was very good. It showed... What I liked about Warrior was that it has... The idea of it is there's 2 brothers who eventually fight in an MMA ring, right? And what I like is both brothers are shown as good people, so you don't know who to pick. There is no villain. You are rooting for both brothers at the same time. And it's a really good idea to have that sort of boldness, as opposed to The Fighter, where you definitely are rooting for Mark Wahlberg. In this, it's like Mark Wahlberg versus Mark Wahlberg. No, it's actually like Mark Wahlberg versus Christian Bale. Who would you pick? Because Christian Bale's the more charismatic, but Mark Wahlberg's the more moral. It's a very, very good film. And you should watch it. It has Kurt Angle in it as well.
Oh, so more wrestlers now.
It has Kurt Angle as a Russian.
Kurt Angle as a Russian?
Yeah, it's amazing. Just turns up and he doesn't speak.
Let me guess, is he a bad person?
Who knows?
So, straight away Russian.
Yeah, it is something like that. Cowboys and Aliens. Now, here's one to talk about.
And that was better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, it was good for the first... When it was a Western, it was excellent, right? When it was a Western, it was superb. There was nothing wrong with a Western. Then what happens is John Ferrango, I think his name is. Correct me if I'm wrong, I probably am. But what he did was he made a film, and it had that brilliant moment in halfway through. I won't say what it is, it's a spoiler, but halfway through they had that brilliant moment in the film. And you're like, oh, this film's changed. This film's completely different to how I'd imagined it. And then what happens is he goes, oh, no, it was all a joke, and he makes a wormhole of his own movie to fall back on itself, and it starts again, and you're like, this is so I heard that Steven Spielberg drew those aliens, right? They are appalling. They are just... These are aliens, right? These aliens have travelled millions and millions and millions of miles to get here to Earth, right? They want to kill everybody, and they're taken down by gunsmiths, by the Old West. It isn't a very realistic idea to think that, to think that they haven't thought of a way to get around a hatchet, for example. They could... If you see War of the Worlds, completely racist. They come in, they kill everybody, and that's it. And you're like, oh, we're all going to die. War of the Worlds, at least there's some drama to it. This is, oh, the aliens come along. They don't look like much of a threat. That isn't going to happen badly, is it? Independence Day, the aliens were more threatening. And all they did was blow up the Empire... What did they blow up? The White House. They blow up the White House in that, an iconic scene. That's all they blow up. But the aliens in Cowboys and Aliens do nothing. They turn up and they seem to get high on the pheromones from the Earth, sit around it. If I was the aliens... but if I was the aliens captain, I'd be like, right, we're down. I'd be like, right, lads, we're here, okay, let's have it. Let's kill everything. No, they're perfectly happy to go, all right, we're here. We haven't really thought of this, have we? Haven't really thought of this far. Well, let's brainstorm right now, guys. Like, they're all sitting in some kind of commander office, brainstorming what to do next. If I was an alien, kill everyone. No, we'll just sit in our little hut and send out drones occasionally. It was appalling.
I've seen too many Snoop Dogg videos up in space, and I thought, oh, that's a good idea.
I've never seen a Snoop Dogg video in space, or on Earth, for that matter.
Snoop Dogg